Hi folks, this is Ranjani here. I'm back with another video which hopefully will help all you folks who are in startups and in SME or medium-sized companies who are juggling with multiple projects. So today's context or topic is about influence without authority. Most of you or a lot of you who I have been speaking to are somewhere juggling between multiple tasks and at the same time priorities, and you have certain strategic initiatives for yourself and for your organization. So how do you manage all of this? The first and foremost thing is to know what is your role in the organization. Do you have any power, authority, or you need to influence people to make things happen or projects roll out in time? That too. Second of all, do you know your stakeholders? Do you know your primary team members who will be with you or will be your barriers to change? And third thing, are you having a system or a process or something which brings the team together to collaborate and give one update or one time visibility to what's happening to all the projects that you're managing? If your answer to all these three questions is no, then this video may help. So let's talk about what can help you in putting things together. Here are some tips that I have as a coach and as a facilitator in strategic thinking and being in IBM for so many years. What has worked for us or what has worked for my coaches is, one is understanding the influence matrix. Now in IBM, we used to use a matrix which used to be low power, high authority, or high power, low authority. You pretty much map people into those quadrants, use a 2 by 2 matrix, and start seeing who is important and who is not important, who has power and authority and who has not. Based on that, you would know who are the people you need to definitely be interacting, and their perspectives matter, their words matter, and their decisions matter, right? And so you cannot make independent decisions without their consensus or without them being in the loop. Otherwise, you will not find any kind of cooperation when you end up going with an agenda or an idea or a concept to their table. They will outrightly refuse being a part of it. So that's one style of influencing, is keeping in mind what role they have to play in the organization and how much power and authority they have. The second could be very useful is putting a matrix together to understand how each stakeholder is correlated to each other, and where are they right now in the organization, how are they placed, and what is your equation to them. So one is to have power and authority in the organization. One angle or perspective is to see how you can influence them and what is your equation or your rapport with them. So that would be another important or useful view to have readily available. Like, you go to this person, but he or she is friendly. Or you go to this person, he or she is dominant. You feel this partner or this stakeholder is quite dependent on you, or you are dependent on them. Likewise, you can map on 3 or 4 criterias minimum, or on the maximum some 6 criterias of how you view these stakeholders, and give it a scoring from low to medium to high. So that way you will know how is the scale of rapport that you have with them and what kind of rapport. So that addresses the second point. The third is what process you are putting together to have everyone on the same page. You may not have everyone in the same meeting. Companies have different tools, they have different dashboards, they have different systems. So you may be using one dashboard, say for project visibility, and maybe different tools or different systems for updating and tracking projects. So you can decide which one you want to use, or find a common ground to have everyone come on the same page, gather on meetings, gather on Zoom, maybe on a platform or a forum or on WhatsApp. I will let you choose the way of or mode or channel, but the intent is more important. What you plan to get in that meeting, get out of that meeting, and how you achieve your goals or your project timelines or deadlines. I think that if you start doing even these three things, you would be in a much better position than what you are right now grappling with. And hopefully, the way you handle your stakeholders in the future, and the way you start understanding new team members, will be far more different than what you are right now in a situation. I hope this really helped. And if you feel that this was valuable, please put your comments in the comment box. I will be happy to share some more perspectives and some more ideas of how to get going in an environment which is virtual, at the same time meet your objectives with influencing your stakeholders. So thank you for watching and have a great day ahead.